All right, welcome back to Market Day Report. I'm Scott Shelley, otherwise known as the Cow Guy. Thank you very much for joining us. This is the last time we're going to get together today, but it's not the last time you're going to see me, right? You're going to stick around 1 o'clock Central. That's the top of the hour, 2 o'clock Eastern. The Cow Guy close, right? It's we're going to have a lot of fun. 3 great guys, and we got some great news stories too. Some stuff that I'm really behind and want to kind of flesh out with our guests. So Cow Guy close. It's going to be fun. That's going to be top of the hour. That's 1 Central, 2 Eastern. I want to see you there, and it's in exactly 16 minutes from right now. Now let's see how we're going to go into the close with our products here. Let's take a look and see what corn's got in store for us. Let's go to corn. Well, look at this. It's doing absolutely nothing. You'd have to slap the side of your screen to see if it's still working. We're down a half cent. 49.5 is last in the D's. We've had a 5-cent range. We're 2 cents off the bottom of that 5-cent range. Nothing going on. Let's move over to the beans. Soybeans, what's happening there? Got a little bit of a rally on our hands, 12.25 cents higher. 12.98.5 last. Look at that, though. We got up above that 13 level. 13.03.5 is a high. That's no beans. last is 12.98.5. All right. How about the wheat in Chicago? That Chicago wheat market, that's lower by 6.5 cents. That's the D's. That's 5.70 3/4. It's a couple cents off the low of the day. We've had about a 14-cent range, a couple cents off the low of the day of a 14-cent range. That kind of says it all. 5.71 is last. We're off about 6 cents there. Hard red wheat in Kansas City. What's that got in store for us? 3 cents lower. That's December. 6.65 3/4. We're less than a penny off the low of the day. This one's trading heavy as we go into the close, and that's a 13-cent rally as well, or 13-cent range as well. So let's keep an eye on it. 6.65 3/4 is the price. 3 cents lower. From Kansas City, let's go to the spring wheat. That's down 1.5 cents. 7.27 1/4. About 3 cents off the lows. And we've had about a 15-cent range over there. So 3 cents off the lows of a 15-cent range. There's D spring wheat Minneapolis, 7.27 even is the price. Cotton, what's happening with the cotton market here today? It's off by 171 points, 83.44. We've come back from the depths there. 171 points lower. Cotton, Dees, 83.44. And that gets me to our next guest analyst. It's going to be Ted Seifried, Zaner Ag Hedge. Ted, thanks for being on the show. All right, brother, you're batting cleanup today. Everybody's watching. What do you got to say that no one else has said before?
I honestly don't know what everybody else has said before, but what I will say is that soybeans are trying to break out, trying to get up and over the the $13 mark, but also the report day high, trying to close above that. We're kind of flirting with that number here right now. So we'll see. But, soybeans have had some good news in the last couple of days. One, harvest progress a lot further along than what the trade was expecting, and that is suggesting that maybe we don't have as much harvest pressure yet to come than what we were thinking. Generally, we say once we get about past 60% harvested, that we're past the bulk or the majority of the harvest pressure. So that's one of them. Also, the crush number came out a lot higher than expected. So, those two things over the course of the last 24 hours or so have really kind of helped out the soybeans. Now, I will say that crush number being stronger than expected, some of us analysts, myself included, were thinking that crush number would grow because of a lack of availability of soybeans at the end of the old crop, but there wasn't that. So I think you could look at that crush number both ways. Either way, it's bushels used, it's demand, right? And so that's the good news. And again, soybeans trying to break out. Let's see if they can follow through.
If they do, where do they go? I mean, how high?
That's a good question. Next big target, 13.27. Corn and wheat's reluctance to follow along. Now, maybe it's just a delay, right? But corn and wheat's reluctance to follow along is a little bit suspect. Corn just hasn't been able to follow through from reversal higher days that we've had the last 2 Thursdays in a row. And maybe this is the time where it starts to get going. Maybe higher soybeans are what really sparks the corn to come to life. But to this point, the price action in corn has not really been all that impressive. And certainly wheat hasn't either.
An old trader would say maybe the corn's trying to tell you that the bushels are there. What do you think?
Yeah, I got to say, Scott, pretty much everybody I'm talking to, with the exception of some of the guys in Nebraska that have been under a drought for the last 2 years, consecutively, that are on dry land, really everybody else is pleasantly surprised. Has been the theme so far of the corn harvest. Yeah. Beans have had more mixed results, but a lot of guys have extra bushels that they weren't expecting, that they're either going to have to sell or hedge, or those sales are still coming to the market right now.
hybrids win again. All right, stay right there. We're going to go away. We're going to pay some bills. We're going to come back and talk more with Ted Seifried. He's with Zaner Ag Hedge in Chicago. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Let's take a look at the other side of the ledger, right? These things also trade on the back of the fact of what's happening over in the row crop. So let's take a look at livestock. Let's start with live cattle. They're steadily just a little bit better here. December's up 47 cents. 187.02 is last, and that's about, what, 57 cents off the highs. So not a lot going on over there. Not huge ranges either. We're going to call that, what, not even a dollar range. So small change, small range, not a lot happening. Live cattle up 47 cents. That's the Dees, 187.02. What about feeders? Well, let's take a look and see what we've got going on there. No feeders up 57 cents. That's quiet as well. 250 spot 50s last. We're 60 cents off the highs. Another quiet day. Again, 57 cents higher. As you go out the deferreds, you gain anywhere between $1.27 to $1.45. So it gets a little bit more expensive as we go out of no and go out from no. But still, 57 cents higher. 250 spot 50 is no feeders. All right, finally, lean hogs. This one's the one that's not playing along, is it, right? Dees is down 90 cents to 67.40. One tick off the low of the day. We got to ring that bell. That's a warning shot. But instead of doing that, we're going to bring back in Ted Seifried, Zaner Ag Hedge. He's our warning shot. Ted, thanks for sticking around. All right. Meats, anything tickle your fancy there?
Well, you know, Scott, when you look at cattle, they say don't sell a quiet market. And, you know, hey, I guess a $1.20 range in live cattle and a $1.40 range in feeder cattle, or at least front month feeder cattle. That's not a bad thing. And that month feeder cattle is pretty stout. You got to say that's a vote of confidence for our economy going in the long run. So, yeah, you know, you like the construction and what we're doing here on live cattle. Again, some sideways basing trade, maybe suggesting that the deeper correction is over or the deeper correction not coming, and the correction that we've had is coming to an end. Maybe we have some upside potential. Hogs, however, opposite story. Really can't find any footing. Once again, it seems to be a theme the calendar year for hogs. Yeah, just really kind of languishing. And again, I think that goes along with that. Maybe we're feeling a little bit more optimistic about our economy moving forward. That was maybe one of our hopes, that pork demand would pick up if people wanted to spend a little bit less money at the butcher's counter. But if we're not as concerned about that here, well, then, you know, maybe there's more downside potential for the hogs.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that we started to see maybe a little life there, but boy, it really hasn't really turned out that way. But it's something we're going to keep an eye on for sure, because these interest rates, these other outside markets, they could affect what these livestock trade at for sure. So that's something we're going to make sure we consult you on often. Thank you very much, Ted Seifried, Zaner Ag Hedge, coming to us from Chicago. We're going to bring it back here and give it over to Suzanne.